Hi, and thanks for checking out this installment of Worldwide Wide-Eyed. I'm Scott Bergstein. I am a writer, a humorist, an observer, an inventor of words, a travel junkie, and an agitator. I live in a small town in southern Italy and in a large city in Southeast Asia. Along with my wife, the intrepid photographer Jessica Kaup, I travel the world looking for inspiration, and I find it everywhere we go. We're constantly amazed by the colors, the harmonies, and the flavors of the places we visit and the people we meet. We bring you our experiences through Jessica's photographs and my words. Welcome to our world. It was cold on the ferry between Bari, Italy, and Dubrovnik, Croatia, and the overnight crossing of the Adriatic Sea was a little bouncy. I note that because while Jessica has a stomach that could withstand one of those flights into the eye of a hurricane, mine is about as stable as Donald Trump. I get that cold, sweaty, clammy feeling that accompanies nausea just by getting into the shower. So by the time we got to Dubrovnik, the sun was rising along with the contents of my stomach. And then we still had a 3-hour bus ride to go, a bus ride that would take us to Split, where we'd be spending a few days with Jessica's father, Jeff, and his wife, Cindy. Split is a coastal town north of the capital city of Dubrovnik, and the country's second largest city, and quite an ancient town in its own right. According to Wikipedia, my source of everything I don't know, Split was originally settled by the Greeks about 2,000 years ago. So there's your history lesson for the day. What struck us about Split more than anything else is the town's affinity for music. On our first morning, I awoke in a bed. This was a departure from having awoken the morning before in an uncomfortable position on the bottom deck of the ferry. More importantly, I awoke in a bed to the soft strains of someone playing the piano, a soothing classical piece, a sound that eased the transition from blissful slumber to a passionate yearning for coffee. We spent the day wandering the streets of the ancient city, always accompanied by music emanating from one source or another. As we entered the main square of Diocletian's palace, one of the major landmarks of Split, we were graced by the angelic sounds of Dalmatian clapper music. The glorious a cappella harmonies seemed to be falling down on us from the clouds, and perhaps they were, since the singing was taking place in the vestibule of a palace where the absence of a roof sent the notes skyward. Later that day, as we sat down to dinner at an open-air restaurant on a square facing the sea, we watched as an orchestra assembled, each musician carrying an instrument and a music stand, and began putting everything in place before treating us and our fellow diners to a concert. The Stanford University Wind Symphony did us Americans proud that evening, and the Italian conductor Giancarlo Aquillanti represented our adopted country with great distinction. After dinner, we returned to the square in front of the palace and sat on cushions intended to prevent the ass ache that normally attends sitting on stone. Again, there was music on the menu, this of a more contemporary nature, such that it got Jeff and Cindy up into the center of the square to join the other revelers in dance. The next morning, we climbed aboard a bus for the trip back to Dubrovnik, comforted by the earworm melodies of Split that we knew would accompany us on our journey. Thanks again for tuning in to Worldwide Wide-Eyed. For more of our travel adventures, go to www.worldwideeye.com. See you around the world.